It was another long night ahead of me. I was just getting ready for my shift. I always hated night shifts, but at least it was a quiet gig at the convenience store. Or at least, that's what it was supposed to be. I started by grabbing some things to eat before I left, but you wouldn't believe how much of a hassle I had. It's like something was fighting me the entire time while I was trying to get ready. After that, I changed into my uniform, grabbed my flashlight, which is my only lifeline in the dark, and I never thought much about needing it until that night. That night was different. I stepped outside, and the air was so thick, so heavy. It's too thick for a night like this. The sky was pitch black, no stars, no moon, just this wall of darkness pressing down on me. The only light was from the convenience store in the distance. It was way too bright. It was like something out of the ordinary. I remember thinking to myself, I bet you could see these lights from space. But it wasn't like I had anywhere else to go. So I started walking towards it. On the way, I ran into this old guy, just standing on the side of the road. He looked a little off. His eyes were darting around like he was scared of something, but he wasn't running. He told me all low and shaky, "Did you hear? Someone fell off the bridge nearby. And there's talk about an old lady who saw a man with his legs bent backwards." He chuckled, but it wasn't the kind of laugh that makes you feel better. It stuck with me. That image of legs bending the wrong way, it just stuck. When I finally got to the store, it was almost a relief to step inside. That buzz from the fluorescent lights, the smell of cheap food, it was all familiar. I punched in just like every other night and started my shift, only tonight wasn't going to be like every other night. My manager left a note with my tasks, same as usual. Remove the expired food from the shelves. Easy enough, but the thing that got me was the CCTV. I just sat there looking at all the monitors. And well, I didn't realize this until recently, but the cameras that were there, the angles, they're all wrong. There's so many blind spots all over. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see them being able to provide me much visibility. If something was out there or someone, I wouldn't know it. It wasn't long before a delivery guy showed up. Nothing unusual about him, just another package to drop off. Only this one wasn't for me. The thing is, I wasn't expecting any packages at all. No label, no address, just my name scrolled across the top in black ink. And inside, a VHS tape. Something about it made my skin crawl, but I wasn't about to open it right then and there. I just shoved it in my bag, and I tried to focus on my shift. When I got home later, curiosity got the better of me. The tape, it was grainy. It was hard to not make out much of anything, but I saw it. I felt it. It was in the store. There was something wrong. The footage was dark, and there was some movement just creeping at the edge of the screen. I tried to shake it off. I told myself it was just somebody's prank, or maybe it was a recording glitch. But still, the image was burned into my brain. I didn't sleep much that night. Every little sound had me jumping out of my skin. And when I went back to work the next night, I asked my boss about it. He just waved me off, saying the door sensors had been acting up lately. Sensors. Sure. That second night at work, things got a lot worse. I had more tasks dealing with the rats behind the store. I could hear them skittering around even before I opened the door, cleaning out the trash bins. That's normal stuff. Something felt off, like the air was even heavier, more dense, almost hard to breathe. And I felt like I was being watched again. Customers came in, same as always, but their faces, it's like they weren't all there, like they were only half aware of what they were doing. One lady went to the bathroom, stayed in there for a really long time, and when she finally came out, her eyes, they were glassy, distant. She said something about her family, and then she just shuffled out of the store. And then another package, another delivery, another VHS tape. And my nerves were completely shot by then. The third night, well, that's when everything really started to fall apart. Doors started opening on their own. Even after I'd locked them, I'd turn around and hear them creak open behind me. Cold air started slipping into the store, brushing past me like something was walking in. But when I checked the CCTV, nothing. Nothing but those blind spots. I found some talismans scattered around the place. At first, I didn't know what they were for. Some sort of protection? Against what? I guessed it was for whatever was creeping around. But they weren't working. That shed behind the store, I never liked going back there. But something kept pulling me in, like it was calling me. And then, when I finally opened the door, the store manager dead. His body was twisted and mangled. His eyes were missing. And the empty sockets were staring right at me, like he'd seen something horrible right before he died. Something worse than death. I don't even know how I made it to the back room after that. I was running on pure adrenaline. My mind was blank with terror. But there was this wall of TVs where all of the food and merchandise was. Hundreds of them stacked up, all buzzing with static. And then I saw her, a child, pale, barely a whisper of a figure, moving through the screens like she was inside of them. I had to figure it out. I had to mimic her movement somehow, align the TVs. My hands were shaking so badly I couldn't even see straight. But I did it. Somehow, I did it. And when I solved the problem, the TVs all blinked off. And I walked to the back room, and she was there, right in front of me. I went to go approach her to see if she was okay, and then everything went dark. I don't remember much after that, just flashes, the feeling of cold creeping up my spine, the skin on my body crawling, whispers in my ear. And then when I woke up, there was one last VHS tape, sitting there on the counter, staring at me, daring me to watch it. I had a choice. I could have thrown it away, should have thrown it away, but I didn't. I had to know. I had to see what was on the tape. So I watched it. It was my apartment, and there were noises. Even after the tape ended, the noises were still in the room. The creaking, the scratching, something moving just out of sight, just beyond the light of my flashlight. After that, I left the store. I couldn't go back. They found someone else to work the night shift, but I don't know what happened to them. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to forget. But the thing is, you can't forget something like that. It stays with you. Every time I close my eyes, I see the store. I see the manager's twisted, mangled body. I see that poor child. You can call me delusional for all I care. But what I saw, what I felt, what I experienced, it was real.